10 tourist scams to watch out for in Japan.
Samurai Junjiro Channel.
Hi, I'm Samurai Junjiro, born and raised in Japan. Japan is often praised as one of the safest countries in the world. It's true, pickpocketing is relatively rare, and you can walk along at night without feeling unsafe. However, new types of scams targeting tourists are quietly growing even here in Japan. Many of these scams exploit Japan's reputation for safety to catch tourists off guard. In this video, we'll introduce 10 tourist scams in Japan you should be aware of, especially if it's your first visit. Watch until the end to make sure your trip to Japan stays safe and enjoyable. Chapter 1. Pickpocketing in Tourist Hotspots. Pickpocketing is rare in Japan, but that's exactly why many tourists let their guard down. In crowded tourist areas, there have been reports of grounds working together to steal from visitors. Busy trains, packed shopping streets, or crowded festivals, these are where pickpocketing strikes in seconds. People wearing backpacks on their backs or distracted by their phones are easy targets. Being fully absorbed in sightseeing without noticing your surroundings can be risky. Places like Asakusa, Shibuya, Harajuku, Ueno, and Kyoto's Gion area require extra caution. Scammers often work in pairs. One distracts you while the other grabs your wallet. Never keep your wallet in your back pocket. Use your front pocket or inside jacket pocket instead. Zip your bag fully and wear it in front of your body, keeping one hand on it at all times. Falling asleep on trains or buses is also risky. You might not even notice if someone slips something out of your bag while you are asleep. Be extra cautious on the first day of your trip when you are tired and more likely to doze off. If you do become a victim, report it to the nearest police station or koban immediately. Depending on what was stolen, you may need to cancel your credit card or apply for a new passport. To stay safe, it's important to reset the idea that Japan is completely safe. As long as you follow basic precautions, you can avoid most trouble before it even starts. Chapter 2. Fake Visit Japan web apps and phishing scams. Since 2023, the Visit Japan web system has become essential for travelers entering Japan. It allows you to pre-register customs and immigration info to make airport procedures faster upon arrival. While helpful, this system has also led to a surge in fake apps and phishing websites pretending to be official. Here's the key. Visit Japan Web is not an app. It exists only as an official website. If you see apps called Visit Japan or Japan Entry in the App Store, they're not official. Some of these fake apps ask for your personal data and steal things like your passport number or credit card info. Even if you search Visit Japan online, scam sites may appear in the top ad slots. Please note that only the URL listed here is the official website. If you are sent to a different link, there's a high chance it's a scam. Be careful with posts on social media or forum claiming, "This app worked great for me." They could be fake. Stick to information from official sources like embassies, consulate, or your airline's website. If you accidentally download a fake app, uninstall it right away and check your device's security. Consider changing your passwords and contacting your credit card company as a precaution. Many scam apps look exactly like the real website. They are very convincing. That's why assuming Japanese services are always safe can be dangerous. Before your trip, visit the official site directly and bookmark the correct URL yourself. Stay alert so you don't run into trouble before your trip even begins. Chapter 3. Jaw pricing for foreigners. In Japan, many services don't have visible price tags, and in tourist areas, foreigners are sometimes charged more than locals. This is known as jaw pricing. For example, the English menu might have higher prices than the Japanese one. Of course, most businesses are honest and fair, but there are some that take advantage of tourists. Watch out for taxis, unofficial tourist info booths, and cultural experiences with unclear pricing. Many travelers feel safe when someone speaks English and accept services without checking the price in advance. For example, in Kyoto, a rickshaw ride might be 3,000 yen if asked in Japanese, but 5,000 yen in English. In areas like Asakusa or Osaka's Tsutenkaku, tourists may be charged hidden service fees or seat fees. There are also reports of sushi or ramen shops serving expensive courses when tourists simply say omakase, chef's choice. To avoid this, always ask for the price before entering or ordering. Simple phrases like "How much is this?" or "Is there a service charge?" can go a long way. An English menu doesn't always mean a friendly shop. Sometimes it's adjusted for higher tourist pricing. On social media, hashtags like tourist trap show real stories from travelers who are overcharged. Be cautious of cash-only places or shops that doesn't provide receipts. These practices are more common in small tourist area shops and late-night restaurants. To avoid ruining your trip, don't blindly accept the price. Double-check it yourself. And remember, just walking a few blocks from a tourist spot can lead you to fairer prices. Chapter 4. Rip-off bars and street promoters. Have you ever been approached while walking around looking for a bar or izakaya to enjoy Japan's nightlife? Phrases like "first drink is free" or "all you can drink for just 2,000 yen" can easily lure unsuspecting tourists. These street promoters, called catch in Japan, are often illegal and lead to many tourist scams. Areas like Shinjuku's Kabukicho, Shibuya Center Street, Roppongi, and Ikebukuro are hotspots for these scams. Once inside, you may be charged far more than the original price you were told. For example, that 2,000 yen all-you-can-drink might turn into a 10,000 yen bill with hidden fees. Some tourists have even reported being locked inside or threatened when refusing to pay. Others are told, "We don't take cards," and are escorted to an ATM to withdraw cash under pressure. Some places call themselves girls' bars or clubs and add outrageous charges later. Some promoters specifically target foreigners, knowing language barriers make it easier to deceive them. To stay safe at night, the most important rule is simple: never follow street promoters. Legitimate bars and izakayas usually have clear pricing at the entrance and don't use aggressive tactics. Checking Google Maps or review sites before entering a bar can help you avoid shady spots. If the bar is in a back alley, upper floor, or has no sign, stop and think before walking in. Some reviews mention extremely watered-down drinks or glasses filled mostly with ice. If something feels off, just walk away. You don't need to argue. Leaving quietly is the safe move. What should be a fun night out can quickly turn into a nightmare with hidden charges and intimidation. Don't assume nightlife in Japan is always safe. Stay alert and cautious. Chapter 5. Fake street monks and donation scams. While walking through Japanese cities or tourist spots, you might be approached by someone dressed like a monk. When they politely ask for donations for peace, you might feel inclined to open your wallet. But chances are, they're not real monks. This is actually a common scam, known as the street monk scam. Real monks in Japan rarely, if ever, ask for donations on the street. If someone were truly a monk, they'd be able to clearly explain their temple, activities, and contact information. Scammers often show a card claiming to be part of an international Buddhist organization. They'll hand you a clipboard in English saying things like "sign for world peace" and ask for your name. After you sign, they'll say, "Please give a donation," and ask for money. They may act like small change is fine, but they are really after your 1,000 or 5,000 yen bills. In more aggressive cases, if you refuse, their tone changes and they pressure you to give. You'll often find these scammers near places like Ueno Park, Sensoji Temple, Meiji Shrine, Kyoto's Gion, or Osaka Castle Park. Many tourists think Japanese monks must be trustworthy and give money without thinking twice. But even in Japan, these scammers are a known issue, and the local governments have issued warnings. The best defense is simple. If someone asks for donations on the street, politely decline. Even if it seems well-meaning, remember, legit organizations don't ask donations on the street. If you want to support a cause, use official temple websites or verified charity platforms instead. Falling for a scam like this can ruin what should have been a beautiful travel experience. Kindness is a wonderful trait, but be aware that some people will try to take advantage of it. Chapter 6. Romance Scams via Dating Apps. More and more foreign travelers in Japan are using dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, or Pairs to meet new people. Meeting locals and spending time together during your trip can lead to amazing memories. But unfortunately, some people take advantage of these encounters to run romance scams. Someone who seems sweet and trustworthy at first might actually be a professional scammer. Be cautious if someone who speaks fluent English starts getting close to you very quickly. They might talk about the future right away or say things like, "I want to be with you longer," to create emotional bonds. After a few dates, the money talk begins. This is the typical scam pattern. They may say, "My family is sick. I need money to extend my visa," or "I lost my wallet." It's easy to feel sympathetic and want to help, especially if you've started developing feelings. But that one-time payment can turn into 2, 3, or more, sometimes leading to losses of thousands of dollars. Romance scams are increasing in Japan, and foreign tourists are not immune. Some victims feel so emotionally hurt by the betrayal that it ruins their entire trip. So how can you spot a romance scam before it's too late? If someone tries to move too fast emotionally, be on your guard. If they bring up money within a few meetings, it's almost certainly a scam. If they truly care about you, they wouldn't ask a tourist like you for financial help. Also, if you're chatting online, Instagram, or WhatsApp, check their profiles and posts carefully. If their posts are sparse, they only have 1 or 2 heavily filtered photos, that's a red flag. Romance scammers often exploit language and cultural gaps, making foreign tourists prime targets. What should be a fun connection can turn into regret, so trust your instincts and stay cautious. Chapter 7. Let me take your photo scam with surprise tip requests. Have you ever had someone kindly offer, "Want me to take your picture at a tourist spot?" At first, it may seem like a generous gesture, but sometimes it's the beginning of a scam. Scammers often approach foreign tourists, offer to take a picture with their own camera, then ask for a tip afterward. They start off friendly, but after snapping the photo, they might say, "A tip please," or "This is normal," and turn aggressive if refused. Some even insist it's polite to give at least 1,000 yen, pressuring you into paying. In some cases, scammers work in groups. One takes the photo, while others surround and pressure you. This scam is common at famous tourist sites like Sensoji Temple, Tokyo Tower, Osaka Castle, and Kyoto's Kiyomizu-dera. Because strangers rarely approach people in Japan, tourists tend to lower their guard when someone seems helpful. But someone truly kind wouldn't ask you for money afterward. Japan is known for not having a tipping culture, so asking for money after taking a photo is highly unusual. If someone insists on a tip, firmly say no and walk away confidently. Also, handing your phone or camera to a stranger puts you at risk of theft, so be careful. When you need a photo, ask a fellow tourist nearby or someone clearly working at the location. Some scammers even claim to be professional photographers and charge outrageous fees after taking your picture. They may say it's free, then suddenly demand payment for digital files or print costs. To avoid this, don't immediately accept offers to take your photo. Pause and think it through. During travel, you're often in a good mood, which makes it easy to let your guard down. Scammers take advantage of exactly that vulnerability with photo scams like this. Chapter 8. QR code scams leading to fake payment sites. Cashless payments have become widespread in Japan, and many shops and facilities now accept QR code payments. Apps like PayPay, LINEPay, and Rakuten Pay are now more accessible for foreign tourists as well. But did you know this convenience has also led to a new type of scam? This scam is known as the QR code scam. In what seems to be a normal restaurant or food stall, you may be asked to scan a QR code at your table or the counter. However, that QR code may not belong to the store. It could be a fake one placed on top of the original. When you scan the fake code, it redirects you to a lookalike payment page designed to mimic the real one. If you enter your credit card number or security code, it goes straight to the scammer. Or you may think the payment went through, but you've actually sent money directly to the scammer's account. These scams are especially common at outdoor events, night markets, and temporary stalls near tourist areas. Scammers may photograph a store's real QR code, recreate it, and replace the original without anyone noticing. Since the fake code often look identical, travelers are especially vulnerable. To protect yourself, always ask the staff, "Is this the official QR code?" before scanning. A safer option is to search for the store manually in your payment app and complete the transaction there. Never enter your personal or card information on unknown links or browser-based forms. If the URL after scanning doesn't start with HTTPS or looks suspicious, stop immediately. Sometimes, even the shop staff isn't aware of the fake code, so it's up to you to stay alert. Japan may be known as a safe country, but tech-based scams happen everywhere, including here. As we enjoy the convenience of a cashless society, it's important to stay aware of hidden risks like these. Chapter 9. Scams that exploit the tipping culture. Many foreign travelers are surprised to learn that Japan has no tipping culture. At restaurants, in taxis, or even at hotels, your tip may be politely refused. But did you know that this no-tip culture has given rise to a new kind of scam? It's called the forced tipping scam. For example, after finishing a meal at a restaurant or food stall, a staff member might ask, "Where's the tip?" This kind of behavior is extremely unusual in Japan. When tourists assume it's just like back home and hand over money, shady operators are encouraged to do it more. Some hotel staff may say in English, "Tips are required" when carrying your luggage during check-in. When someone is kind to you and then claims it's cultural, it's hard to say no. But in Japan, this kind of behavior goes against company policy and is not acceptable. In worst cases, people may demand a tip because they let you take a photo or because they showed you a seat. These gestures might seem tip-worthy elsewhere, but in Japan, they're never grounds for extra payment. If someone says, "Not tipping is rude in Japan," that's completely false. In some tourist areas, people may demand cash after taking a photo with you, calling it a souvenir fee. Kimono performers, ninjas, or samurai cosplayers sometimes target foreign tourists this way. When tourists don't know what's normal and just pay anyway, the scam spreads. To avoid this scam, firmly understand tipping is not needed in Japan. If tipping is mentioned, just say, "No tipping in Japan," and most people will back off. Places that ask for tips often have poor online reviews or are frequently reported for scamming tourists. Checking Google Maps or social media before visiting can help you avoid these places. What makes Japanese service great is its quality without tipping. Believe in that culture and enjoy your trip without tipping. Chapter 10. Fake food stalls and menu scams. What you see isn't what you get. Street food stalls and small outdoor eateries are bustling in Japan's tourist areas. Colorful menus with tempting photos and mouth-watering smells are hard to resist. But after you order, have you ever thought, "Wait, this looks nothing like the photo"? This is what's known as a menu bait and switch or fake food photo scam. You order something that looks delicious in the photo, but what arrives is cold, tiny, or missing key ingredients. For example, a stall advertises shrimp yakisoba with plump seafood, but all you get is noodles with one lonely shrimp. In most cases, refunds or exchanges are refused. Vendors often brush you off with "we're too busy" and won't entertain complaints. In worse cases, the item you ordered doesn't match the name or description at all. A sign might say Wagyu beef skewer, but you are actually served cheap beef or worse, pork. These scams are especially common in areas crowded with foreign tourists. Be extra cautious in places like Asakusa, Dotonbori, Kyoto's Gion area, and Kamakura's Komachi Street. Some vendors take advantage of the fact that tourists won't come back and serve subpar food. Others may show only Japanese menus to avoid explaining what's really inside the dish. Tourists often feel unsafe, but pressure to order anyway when told no English menu. To avoid this, checking reviews beforehand is your best defense. If you see the review saying, "not like the photo" or "feels like a scam," stay away. Avoid stalls without prices or that just say market price, as these often aim to overcharge. It's tempting to order based on a pretty photo, but always double check before you pay. Japanese street food is amazing and should be something you can enjoy with confidence. That's why it's important to avoid shady vendors and support honest ones. While traveling, it's easy to let your guard down because you're in a good mood. But even in Japan, staying alert is important. Scams do exist. Just knowing these 10 scams can help you avoid a lot of trouble. To enjoy Japan with peace of mind, a little awareness goes a long way. Wishing you a wonderful journey in Japan. Well, that's it for today. See you in the next video.